Okay, we're now going to look at factorising trinomials. A trinomial is an expression that has three parts. Think of a tricycle that's got three wheels. A typical trinomial looks like ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b and c are all numbers. To factorise a trinomial, we follow 4 steps. Step 1 is find or state A, B and C. Step 2 is create and complete your window. Step 3 is create and simplify fractions. And step 4 is summarise with 2 brackets. So let's look at some examples. We have got example 1 here, which is x squared subtract 3x subtract 4. So instantly in my head I am saying, well, that's a trinomial because it's got 3 parts to the expression. And step 1, we said, first of all, state values of a, b and c. So a is going to be 1 because there's no number in front of the x squared. B is going to be equal to -3. The negative part is very important. And C is going to be equal to -4. That's step 1 sorted. Step 2 was create and complete the window. Now, we've not seen a window before. I've went ahead and I've actually already created my window just to save a bit of time and so that I can talk you all through it. This is the window here itself. Notice in the top left pane, we have got AC and a multiply sign. We've got a plus sign and we've got B in the lower pane. What we're going to do is we're going to populate the top left and the bottom left 2 windows. So in this top left window, I need to populate that with a number. We have AC, and we know in maths, if 2 things are stuck together, then it means that they are multiplying. So what I'm going to do is I am going to multiply the values of A and C together. So I'm going to do 1 times -4, which is going to be -4. And that's me populated top left of the window. For the bottom of the window, I'm just going to put in whatever I've got for B. In this case, B is equal to -3. So I'm going to stick -3 in the bottom left of the window. To populate the rest of the window is where our multiply and our plus sign is going to come in. So now I'm going to start thinking to myself, I need 2 numbers that when I multiply them together, I get -4. And if I add those same 2 numbers together, I get -3. Now I've been practicing at this, so I know that the 2 numbers are going to be -4 and 1. So I'm going to go ahead and populate the rest of the window. A good thing to do at this point is just double check that both of your numbers are correct. So -4 times 1 is going to give me -4, and -4 plus 1 is going to give me -3. So I'm quite happy that I've populated this window correctly and I can move on to the next part. Step 3 is create and simplify fractions. What I'm going to do for this part is I'm going to go back to my original expression. I've got an x squared term, so it's 1x. So I'm going to create my fractions with that in mind. And the first fraction is going to look like x over, and I'm going to use the window. So the first number I'm going to put underneath is -4. And for my second fraction, I'm going to have x over 1. So I'm taking the numbers from the window itself and they're getting into the fraction, and the top letter comes from the start. So I've got 1x squared, so my fraction is going to have an x, or 1x, and 1x. Step 4 is summarise using brackets, so we're going to place it into factorised form. The fractions themselves become the brackets, so one bracket is going to be x minus 4. Put that in, x subtract 4. And a second bracket will be x over 1, so that's going to be x plus 1. And that is us factorised x squared subtract 3x subtract 4 into x subtract 4, x plus 1. Example 2 looks slightly different, but luckily I've got my 4 steps and that's going to see me through absolutely fine. So I've got 2x squared plus x subtract 21. And step 1, same again, state what A, B and C are. So A this time is going to be 2, B is going to be 1 because it's just x on its own, and C is going to be negative 21. Step 2, we're going to go and we're going to populate our window. So top left, I'm going to start top left every single time. AC, so I'm thinking 2 times negative 21, because A is 2, C is negative 21. So in that top left pane, I am going to put in negative 42. In the bottom left-hand pane, we've already worked out that B is 1, so the bottom left, I am going to put in 1. We'll put the 1 in there, and now I'm thinking to myself, I need two numbers that when I multiply the two numbers together, I'm going to get negative 42, and when I add those same two numbers, I'm going to get 1. So again, I've been practicing this, so I'm quite happy that it is going to be 7 and it's going to be negative 6. So 7 and negative 6 go into the two remaining panes. It doesn't matter if you put the 7 there and the negative 6 there, or if you put the negative 6 there and the 7 there. The important thing is you get the right two numbers. Let's quickly double check. 7 times negative 6 is negative 42, and 7 take away 6 is 1. So I'm quite happy with that, and we can move on to creating our fractions. Same idea as the last time. First thing I'm going to just look at is my original expression, 2x squared plus x subtract 21. There's a 2 in front of the x squared. So when I create my fraction this time, I'm going to put 2x as the numerator. And then I'm going to take the two numbers that I've just thought of, and they are going to be the denominators. So my two fractions become 2x over 7 and 2x over negative 6. At this point, I'm going to double check to see if I can simplify anything. And hopefully you have noticed already that 2x over negative 6, I can divide 2x and I can divide negative 6 by 2. So I'm actually going to simplify that down to x over negative 3. Once I've double checked if I can simplify anything any further, which I can't, it's time to summarise in the brackets. So my first bracket is going to be 2x plus 7, and my second bracket is going to be x subtract 3. And that is us factorised 2x squared plus x subtract 21. Okay team, that's us sorted. This is Mr. G signing off. Speak to you all soon.